Hi, and welcome to SSDD's guide to heroic Ultraxion. We won't be covering main mechanics, and if you would like to see main mechanics, be sure to go visit either Fat Boss guides or Learn to Raid guides, and I'll put those in the description so you can go see them. In this video, we're going to go over small things that our raid group does, and does well, to defeat heroic Ultraxion.
As you'll notice right there too, just to point out one of the immediate nuances, if you are paying very careful attention to my perspective from the Resto Shaman, you'll notice that I faded out right at the beginning of the fight, as our other healer, Gory, the Holy Paladin, should have also done. The reason for this is bloodlusting. By that I mean that we decided as a raid that it would be most effective to bloodlust right at the beginning of the fight for the DPS and the tanks, while it would be more beneficial for the healers to bloodlust at the last minute of the fight, or basically at the 5-minute mark of his enrage timer. Basically, that allows healers to have bloodlust at the best possible moment for them, while the DPS also having bloodlust for the best possible moment for them. Because, as we discovered, or as we had heard from other guys, when a healer fades out at the beginning of a fight, or I think at any point during this fight where bloodlust is happening, the healers will not become sated, as you'll notice from my perspective right now.
Right. So, as a DPS perspective, obviously, since we bloodlust at the beginning, you'll have cooldowns up, and you definitely want to pre-pot. You want to pre-pot for every fight that you possibly can while working on heroic modes, just because you need every little ounce of DPS that you can get, and it's ridiculous. So in this fight, all I literally do is tunnel as hard and as much as humanly possible. The only thing that you need to take notice of when you're tunneling this hard and for this long, because you're gonna wipe a few times, so you're obviously gonna get tired after a bit. You're gonna want to seriously pay attention to fading, that will kill you countless of times if you don't pay attention to your debuff.
Oh, you bad DPS. As you'll notice right there too, from my perspective, after I just picked up the red buff, the way that we handled buffs for our particular healer comp, which is a Resto Sham and a Holy Paladin, or at least in the kills that we have gotten so far, and our first kill, Gory, our Holy Paladin, was picking up green buff, while I, the Resto Shaman, was picking up red buff and blue buff. This is just sort of something we developed over trial and error times. I don't know technically if you did the math which one would be real, and I want to start experimenting in the future with different buffing, but so far this is what we found that works best for us.
Alright, you're gonna have to re-say that part just because your mic went robot.
Did it really? Okay, we'll worry about that later.
Alright, what was I gonna say?
I don't really have to say much for these parts, whatever. I just kind of bland shit. But
the dance to the music, dance to the music.
Your perspective is so funny.
Dance.
One of the other things to mention too for this fight is that we, just to discuss comp, use a prop warrior, a blood DK, a holy paladin for healing, a resto shaman, and 5 DPS.
Which, if you really want to get technical, Ret Paladin, Combat Rogue, Ellie Shaman, Shadow Priest, and a Fire Mage.
Yes.
Oh, and a Boom Kid.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, we always forget about him.
Well, because he's always on his fucking priest now.
It doesn't really matter. That's what it comes down to. It just really doesn't matter at all.
He's Asian. He can't see us.
Yeah. As you'll also notice too, right now in the video, the blue crystal should be just about to spawn, and this is really where, for healers, the damage starts to ramp up, at least noticeably. Basically, as a healer, also, one thing that I was discovering is that if you're picking up red and blue, you really want to have no mana by the time blue comes out, and basically just be destroying the numbers while red is out. As you'll also notice, I didn't do that in this video, which is very bad of me, but it's definitely something to be aware of. Yeah, it's definitely something to be aware of, that you should try to basically drain your mana bar before blue comes out, because mana becomes a non-issue. At least if you have any type of mana regen, which is pretty much any healer. One of the things you'll also notice too, one of the things you'll also, just don't laugh at me.
I'm laughing because all you're doing is chain healing and raining.
Whatever, it's power. One of the things you'll also notice too is that my rotation changes a little when I get blue buffed. Basically because I can spam chain heal and keep healing rain down very easily. The way I did it, if you pay very careful attention to my voodoo, is I basically rolled Riptide on myself and the other healer because we never get faded and we only have to fade for hours of Twilight. So basically having Riptide on both of the healers guarantees that I have a Riptide target to chain heal off of this entire fight. So you basically, as a Resto Shaman, want to keep down Healing Rain on cooldown, keep Riptide on the 2 healers, and if it does come off cooldown, you can put it back up on other people, and then just spam Chain Heal in the period between when Healing Rain is off cooldown. As you'll see right here, the second time loop comes out is when things really get crazy for healers, and that's when we Bloodlust for our healers. And the whole goal at this point is just to keep those health bars up just long enough to get that 7th hour of Twilight, because then you can get some, and then you can get some healing off in between the hour of Twilight going off, and then you basically just ride cooldowns till he dies. And if you can make it that 7th hour of Twilight with everybody alive, you stand a good chance.
Here he goes, here he goes. Ultraxion has been defeated. Oh!
And he's gone.
And he's gone. That was SSDD's somewhat guide to heroic Ultraxion. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help us out.
I'm Biggins.
And I'm Ramses. Stay classy, San Francisco.